Hi, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Tammy Slater Kendrick. I am with the Florida Suncoast Homes team right here on Paradise Island. The team consists of myself and my husband, Michael Flake. We just married a couple of days ago. So be watching for an upcoming name change for me as soon as I get everything changed with my license. What I wanted to talk to you about for the month of September is basically what's happening with the real estate market as it relates specifically to just Paradise Island. There are a lot of misconceptions out there. There's a lot of opinions, and I wanted to show you some facts and some figures so that we can go through what's happening here. Um, as you know, right now, all across the country, there's a lot of economic uncertainty, and that has been factoring into the real estate market for a lot of places around the country. There are some small pockets that are still doing really well, but for the most part, most of the country is seeing a downturn in the real estate market. The interest rates not dropping has not been helping anything at all, of course. So let's talk about what's happening here. So even if you're not thinking about selling your home, it's always a good idea to keep tabs on what is happening in the real estate market because what happens on the market does affect your home's value regardless of whether you're selling. So you might want to keep tabs on what's going on. So that's why I do these periodic updates. So let's take a look at what's actually happening. Right now, these numbers are accurate as of September the 8th. There are 32 properties for sale. There's 13 houses, which real estate agents generally refer to as single family homes. There are 19 that are either condominiums or townhouses, which are in the village of Paradise Island. That if you were to put your home on the market, whether you have a single family home or a condominium or a townhouse, this would be your competition. So, of those that are on the market in our neighborhood right now, the average days on market, which is something that we always look at, is how long is it taking for something to sell, is at 112 days. Now, that's up from 98 days just 6 months ago. And that was 6 months ago, remember, was still after the hurricane. So before that, it was down quite a bit. At one point, we were selling houses basically the first week they came on the market. That was a couple years ago before the interest rates went up. So obviously, we're not in that kind of a market anymore. We're definitely shifted into a buyer's market. Now, the ones that are on the market now range from brand new on the market, just a few days, to almost 365 days. So we've got some that are coming up on about a year. And actually, there's one condominium or townhouse that has been on the market for, I think, a year and a half or maybe even 2 years. In the past 6 months, we've had 41 that have either canceled or expired. So that's really up because normally we see that about that number in a year, and this is in a 6 month period of time. So basically, we're at almost double the rate of cancellations. And basically, what that means is that the home didn't sell during the listing period, which is very often 6 months, and sometimes it's three, could be four, could be any period of time. And the homeowner decided to take it off the market or it expired. The listing period ran out. And again, the homeowner decided not to put it back on the market. Like I said, the average is about 40 of those per year. So we are running at about double that number. Right now, there are four that are currently under contract. Three of those are the single family homes, and then there's one condo that is under contract right now. So let's dig a little deeper into the numbers and kind of break it down basically. And let's look at what has sold because those are the numbers that really help us determine what your home could sell for if you were to try to sell it. It kind of helps determine what the potential sales price could be. So in the past 6 months, let's look at single family homes first. The past just 6 months alone, we've only had 8 that have sold. That's an average of 1.3 per month. Now that number was 23 per year or about 2 per month just last year. Of those 8, 5 of them were cash and 3 of them were loans. Sorry. And the average days on market for single family homes average is 100 days. It's ranging anywhere from 17 days to 229. The sold prices ranged anywhere from 425,000 all the way up to 2.7 million. 2.7 million obviously was brand new construction. The average was 1,122,500 with the median being 990,000. Let's look at the same number for condos. This includes condos and townhouses. Again, 8 have sold. That's an average of 1.3 per month. And we were at 32 per year. Remember that condos are less expensive and a lot of second home buyers a lot of times will buy a condominium versus a single family home. So we generally see those selling more. Right now, condos are just not selling at all. Like I said, it was at 32 per year, which is about 2.5 per month. So we are at about half of where we normally would be volume wise. Again, 5 of those were cash, 3 of them were loans. The average days on markets for condos, 55 days, which is a little bit misleading because a couple of them sold really fast at a really low price. These were, post hurricane, they were flooded out properties that people bought them at a very inexpensively because they needed to be gutted and redone. And so they bought them fast and they bought them cheap. With the condos, I have been talking with we've got condos for sale. I've been talking with some of the other agents that are also trying to sell condominiums on Paradise Island right now, not just Paradise Island, but around Treasure Island, Madeira Beach, all along the beach communities. And basically, nobody is looking at condominiums right now. Actually, not too many people are looking at single family homes either. The buyer activity has really dropped way off. The price range on these went from 150,000, which is really super low for our area, all the way to 735,000, with the average being 350,500 and the median at 319,000. One of the factors that a lot of people tend to look at is the price per square foot. On single family homes, the price per square foot ranges anywhere from 212 all the way up to a little over $1,000. So the average there is about $531 a square foot. Now, where we were prior to the hurricane a year ago was at a range of 409 to 976. So on the upper end was pretty close to the same, but the lower end, as you can see, dropped way down. Now let's look at condominiums. For condominiums, the price per square foot ranges from 131 up to 293, with an average of about $275 a square foot. On the condominiums where we were was a range of about 259 to 488. So both the lower number and the high number have both come down considerably. So these numbers that I'm looking at, the historical numbers are from 2023. I wanted to do it far enough look back that we were in kind of a normal market at that point. Now, as I said, this is a very common way to price a home, but as you can see, the numbers are all over the place. I mean, a range of 212 to 1,000. The reason that we have such a variance here on Paradise Island is because the homes that are here are that we have everything. We've got such a broad range. A lot of times what you'll see across the country is a neighborhood will be built, all of the houses will be about the same age, they'll all have about the same number of square footage, they'll be very similar in amenities. Think about, neighborhoods that are being built by a developer and they kind of build all of them at once. That's when the price per square foot really comes into play because those homes are all similar. We don't have that. We've got homes, some are built in the 1950s. Some of them haven't been remodeled at all. Others are brand new on the market, built to hurricane standards. We've got everything. So we can't use the price per square foot. So I would encourage you, if you're looking at websites like Zillow or Realtor.com, or even some of the sites that say, we'll give you a free home valuation, just put in your address. Don't pay any attention to those. They don't count for us. We have waterfront homes, we have non-waterfront homes, we have homes with pools and docks, and we have homes that don't have either of those things. So the price per square foot essentially means nothing when it comes to Paradise Island. So what all of this tells us basically is that it depends on where your home is, it depends on the layout, it depends on upgrades and amenities that you have done. If you're thinking about putting your home on the market, I hope that you've learned here that number one, things really aren't selling. Buyers aren't looking. And if you want to get a valuation on your home, the first step that you need to do is to call a real estate agent. This is what we do. We look at the homes that are on the market and we actually don't just use these computer models. We look at each home individually that has sold, the ones that are on the market, that would be your competition. We look at what upgrades they've got, how the layout is. We look at all of those factors to try to determine what we think that the home will sell for. It all depends on what a buyer is willing to pay. And then further, the last thing that we kind of consider is basically what your terms are. What price do you need to get? Can we make that happen for you? If we can, we will. We'll give you some ideas on what you can do to your home to make it look the best it can be, whether that's through staging or maybe from doing some small upgrades. We'll try to get you the price that you need, or we might even, and very likely, will recommend that you hold off for a while. It might be to your advantage to hold off a few months and see what happens with the interest rates, with the tariffs that are coming, and see would people get a little bit more comfortable with buying homes again. When do you need to close? That factors in, obviously. Do you need to sell right away or can you wait? And whether or not you never have another house to buy. I would strongly encourage you in this market, don't go out and find one that you fall in love with if you don't currently have your home on the market and you have no prospects for somebody to buy it, because you'll just set yourself up for heartache. One of the worst scenarios for us is when somebody finds it the home that they love and they really want to put a contract on it, but we can't because they don't have their home either under contract or at least on the market. So although it's tempting to go on realtor.com or Zillow or some of the other websites and start looking at houses, don't do that until we know whether or not your home is going to be able to sell for the price that you need and in the time frame that you're looking for. What you don't want to do is put your home on the market and hope it sells either. You want to have a strategy, and we will help you formulate that strategy. So if you are thinking about selling, please give us a call first. Let us come out, have a consultation with you to talk about what you might want to do, what your parameters are, what your terms and your preferences are, and see if we can help you before you start doing any upgrades, before you start doing any staging or anything like that. Give us a call first. You can give us a call, you can send us a text, or you can send us an email. If you're thinking about selling and maybe you don't know what your timeline is, don't wait until the market shifts and we've got a buyer's market. You want to be ready to jump on that as soon as you can. We're happy to come talk to you now, even if it means that you're not going to list it for 6 months, 8 months down the road. We're happy to talk to you now so that you can be ready when the market does shift, that you can jump on that right away. Again, give us a call, send us a text, or send an email.